Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Buckle Up, It's the Law with Attorney Larry Forman. Folks, today we are going to be covering some of the weirdest laws all over the world. We're going to talk about some of the most bizarre laws that have been enacted in different countries and their penalties, what you could be facing, whether it just be fines all the way up to imprisonment. So, don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel. Of course, as always, let's begin. Chewing gum, something that most of us enjoy, an activity that all of us like to enjoy from time to time. Some of us maybe more than others. But in Singapore, chewing gum is banned unless it's for your teeth's health. Apparently, they have a clean city law that forbids not only possession, but especially distribution of gum in Singapore. This ban was implemented in 1992 under the Control of Manufacture Act, and that prohibits the import and the sale of chewing gum to prevent litter and vandalism. Now, with exceptions, like I said, for dental or nicotine gum chewing, which is available at pharmacies, if you violate this law as a distributor, you may be facing a fine of up to 100,000 Singaporean dollars and up to 2 years in jail, though casual users are rarely targeted. And as of the recording of this video, that is approximately $77,000 US. Number 2, now we're going all the way to Greece. Apparently, strutting in stilettos at ancient ruins is forbidden and is against the law. Enacted to protect fragile archaeological sites like the Acropolis, to protect it from damage caused by sharp heels. This rule is part of a broader preservation law under the Greek Ministry of Culture. Now, offenders can be fined up to 900 euros, which is about just over $1,000 US, or face temporary bans from the sites with enforcement done by on-site guards. So remember, the next time you're going to Greece on a vacation, bring flat-toed shoes, open-toed shoes, something like that. Do not bring your stilettos because you may be fined at worst or get kicked off the premises at the very least. Do you need a lawyer that defense counsel fear? Hire me, Larry Forman. I'm a trial lawyer. I know how to get money in your pocket. If you've been injured in any way, shape, or form, car accident, dog bite, slip and fall, medical malpractice, doctor negligence, hospital negligence, whatever it may be, give us a call. 1-844-774-HURT. That's 1-844-774-HURT. Let's get you some money. Now we're going to Japan. Now, Japan has something known as a metabo law, and it measures its citizenry's waistline annually. Now, it seems quite bizarre, but the reasons are actually quite reasonable. It has to do with health. Introduced in 2008 as part of the specific health checkups and specific health guidance system, it requires companies to measure their employees' waists, men over 85 centimeters and women over 90 centimeters, to combat obesity and related health costs. Now, let me know in the comments below if you think that this is something that could work here in this country, or would you think that is going to be discriminatory against people who are overweight? Let me know in the comments below what you think if a law like that were to be enacted in the United States. There are no direct fines for individuals, but companies could face penalties if they fail to comply with this law by measuring their employees' waistlines. And individuals may be required to attend mandatory counseling or diet programs if they fail these tests. Now, in China, this one is beyond the pale. I have never seen anything like this. China has a rule that requires Tibetan monks to get a government permit for reincarnation. Oh yes, you heard that right. This is a bureaucracy that transcends lifetimes. Upon passing, Tibetan monks believe in reincarnation, that they would be reincarnated as a different animal. So it's established in 2007, the Chinese government now requires Tibetan monks through the State Administration for Religious Affairs Order Number 5 to receive official approval from the Chinese government in the form of a permit that you have to pay for, of course, and only then will you be permitted to reincarnate. I am not sure how this law is enforced, but I don't think it's a very easy feat, especially after the individual has passed. I mean, do they go after the Tibetan monk's estate? Do they talk to their friends to say, ask the question, has he planned on being reincarnated, or is he the ugly duckling decided not to reincarnate? I am flabbergasted. But this was done to regulate Tibetan Buddhism and curb separatist activities. So that, I guess, if you're not a Tibetan monk and you do want to participate in reincarnation, that you don't have a chance to do so without paying the permit fee. So it just curbs their enthusiasm, I suppose. Violations can lead to administrative punishments, fines, or even imprisonment under the broader religious and security laws, with documented cases of detentions lasting years. Now, I imagine this is probably while these people were still alive, but hey, I'm not here to judge. Now, let's go to Germany. Running out of fuel on the Autobahn is verboten, forbidden. Even speed demons must plan their pit stops. The Autobahn, there is no speed limit on that road, so it's a very, very fun road to traverse. I've never had a chance to traverse it yet, but it can be also very, very dangerous because people could be going upwards of 200 and 250 miles per hour on that road, if your vehicle permits it. So under the German road traffic regulations, stopping or parking on the highway without just cause, including due to running out of gas, is illegal. And this is done to prevent accidents on high-speed roads. Penalties only range in a form of a fine from 30 to 70 euro, so about 50 to 100 bucks. Plus, there are potential points that could go on your license, and you could be liable for towing costs and for the further hazard that you have caused. Now we're going to Norway. Now I hope I'm going to pronounce the name of this city correctly, and please let me know in the comments below. Longyearbyen, Norway. Dying is technically off limits. Yes, you heard that correctly. In Longyearbyen, Norway, you are not permitted to pass away. Eternal rest requires relocation, courtesy of permafrost. Since the 1950s, burials have been banned in the Svalbard archipelago because bodies don't decompose in the frozen ground. They risk disease because the bodies become preserved. So terminally ill residents are flown to mainland Norway, and although you can't be fined for passing away, the bodies must be transported out at the family's expense with no local cemetery options available to the family of the deceased. Absolutely fascinating stuff. Now in Turin, Italy, you can get a fine if you own a dog and you don't walk that dog a minimum 3 times per day. I guess they're ensuring Fido gets more exercise. I'm not exactly sure for the reason for this law, but it was enacted about 20 years ago in 2005 as part of an animal welfare ordinance by the city. This is not a countrywide law. This is just limited to the city of Turin in Italy. It mandates at least 3 walks per day to prevent neglect and to promote your doggo's health. I mean, hey, very few people can really argue with that, but to mandate it by the city, that's a new one for me. Violators can be fined up to 500 pounds, so about almost 600 bucks US, with enforcement typically based on complaints by your neighbors. So if your neighbors are stinkering on you, ratting you out, or animal control checks. Now in England and Wales, this is a bizarre one. Suspiciously handling salmon is a crime. Yes, you heard that correctly. Suspiciously handling salmon is a crime, and fishy business could net you a fine. Section 32 of the Salmon Act, 1986, criminalizes handling, receiving, or disposing of salmon under circumstances that suggest it was illegally obtained. It was aimed at curbing poaching, essentially. Now, the penalties include up to 3 months imprisonment, unlimited fines in higher courts, or up to 5,000 pounds or $6,000 US in magistrate courts, with recent prosecutions confirming enforcement. Now we're in the United States. Arizona, United States, forbids donkeys from napping in bathtubs. I'm sorry, Larry, what did you just say? Yes, you heard that correctly. Donkeys are not permitted to take naps in bathtubs in the state of Arizona in the United States. Now, this originated in the 1920s after a flood incident left a donkey in a bathtub and caused chaos. This state law prohibits such accommodations to avoid similar hazards, though this is rarely enforced today, and I don't think there have been any instances, at least that I could find, of this law being enforced. Violations could result in a minor misdemeanor, typically under $100 if prosecuted. And last but not least, we are actually going back to Italy. This time we're going to Venice, one of my favorite cities of all time. Venice forbids feeding pigeons. That's right. You're not allowed to feed pigeons in Venice. I'm glad I didn't try to do that because usually I like to feed animals everywhere I go. Now, implemented in 2008, this is about 17 years ago, so it's a fairly new law, under the municipal ordinance to protect historic buildings from bird droppings and reduce the overpopulation of birds. It bans feeding or selling food to pigeons in public spaces. I mean, logical, right? Venice is a fairly small place. There's not a whole lot of room. They have canals and they have a bird problem. So in order to minimize the presence of these pesky flying creatures, feeding them is forbidden because if you feed them, more birds are going to be attracted to the locale. Offenders face fines ranging from 50 euros all the way up to 500 euros, about 60 to 600 bucks US, with strict enforcement by local police to preserve the city's heritage. So folks, I hope you all enjoyed this. Once again, don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you like this new format. Let me know in the comments below. Do you enjoy this display of visuals? Do you like the change? And we're going to keep these videos going, and I hope that you all are enjoying them. As always, I love every single one of you, and I hope to see you in the next video. And don't forget, we will be covering current events, current cases as they come about, so don't go anywhere. Bye, everybody.